LeBron James and D. Wade combining to outscore the Pacers in the fourth quarter of Game 2 to even that series. They had a 10-0 run that was pivotal in that fourth quarter. I got a question for you, Charles. You had said that as we look at the fan banner, do you think it's going to go 7 games? And 80% of you saying no. You said during Game 1 of this series, as you looked ahead to Miami, Indiana, you said it's going to take 4 monster games from LeBron James for them to win that series. That wasn't a monster game last night, was it?
Yeah.
That was a monster game?
He dominated the fourth quarter in a close game.
Yeah, but
no, if it's a close game, you got to beat that guy 4 times. First of all, people talk about those points he scored. To me, the biggest plays in the game when the Heat were down 7 points, he made a play and kicked it to Chris Bosh in the corner.
Back to back.
That, to me, was the turning point of the game. Because Indiana could have taken the lead to double digits. That's the thing that makes him unique, Ernie.
Yeah, these were late in the third quarter
yes.
after they had opened up the lead, and Bosh hits
yes.
one. And
the next play down, he finds Chalmers in the corner. Cole, excuse me. That, to me, was the 2 biggest plays of the game. But he dominated. Listen, Dwayne Wade played well, but LeBron James, you're going to have to beat that guy 4 times. And when the game was on the line, he made every play he had to make to put them over the hump.
You know what the difference is? You know, we talked about the San Antonio series, and I was like, well, what do you do differently? When you look at Indiana, they really don't have to do anything differently. Their game plan actually is good enough. They just have to execute better down the stretch. But they stayed in the game, played hard, came down to the last 3.5 minutes of a game. So you don't have to change the game plan. But when you get blown out by 20 points, you have to evaluate everything that you're doing differently. And now going 1-1, I still think that Indiana probably has confidence going into Miami, even though they're 1-1 and lost home court advantage.
Miami's big 3 take pride in never losing 2 games in a row. I told you guys the other day Miami was coming with that funk. LeBron played great. D-Wade, I think, was the changing factor in the fourth quarter. After LeBron made those plays, D-Wade hit 2 big shots. But those guys, they knew what they had to do. They came out, they had multiple and triple effort on defense, and they stayed with it. They never panicked. Here's the shots right here by D-Wade. But, you know, you can't punch LeBron, you can't punch D-Wade, you can't punch the Heat and expect them not to come back. They did what they were supposed to do, get a game at Indiana and take away home court advantage.
Yeah, but what Kenny said, like, it wasn't like it was a dominant performance. They played just well. Indiana's got to, I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but that's not going to be an easy series for Miami because Roy Hibbert and David West still going to be big in Miami like they were in Indiana, but they've got to get better shots down the stretch because it's basically when they had to lead, those 2 threes were huge, but it was still a tie game going probably with 2 or 3 minutes to go.
And then there's the question on Paul George, too, because he had the collision with D. Wade in the fourth quarter last night, took a couple of shots to the head. Now, last night, he stayed in the game. There were no concussion symptoms. He was retested today, and they said he did suffer a concussion. So he's going to have to go through this NBA protocol of being symptom-free and go through all the variety of tests for him to be able to play in Game 3. The good thing for Indiana is that you have these 3 days off in between Games 2 and 3.
I don't believe an NBA player is going to miss a playoff game for the concussion. This is not like football.
Well, it's not up to them.
Listen, man, I don't believe. I know they believe. I don't believe any of that crap, Ernie.
George Hill missed one.
That was regular season.
Well, he missed it a couple years ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying Paul George's not going to miss the game Saturday. I don't think an NBA player, unless he's got some really crazy stuff going on, I don't think you're going to miss a playoff game with a concussion. I just don't believe that. Listen, we put guys in worse danger with other injuries. I don't think first of all, Paul George got to play better.
Yes.
He was 1 for 12 without the concussion.
Yes.
So he's just got to play better. As I say, Ernie, the one disadvantage New Jersey had, not New Jersey, they're Brooklyn now. The one disadvantage OKC has, and the one disadvantage Indiana always going to have. LeBron can guard their best players. I think they got to put that ball in Stevenson's hand because Paul George's not going to score on LeBron, just like Joe Johnson couldn't, just like Kevin Durant could. They've got to put this ball in. Lance Stevenson has got a ton of talent. He can make great plays. He can hurt you sometimes. But I don't think you can go to Paul George against LeBron James. Whoever LeBron's guarding, you take him out to play. But Stevenson's going to have to be the guy down the stretch if it's a close game. As terrific a player as Paul George is, He's not going to score on LeBron James.
Stevenson 25, 6 and 7 in the Game 2 loss. Paul George 4 for 16, and we await to see exactly how it all shakes out with the concussion.